So travelers' thoughts might run, but no one guessed the truth. Great-hearted Odysseus, home at last, was being bathed now by Eurynome and rubbed with golden oil and clothed again in a fresh tunic and cloak. Athena lent him beauty head to foot. She made him taller and massive too, with crisping hair and curls like petals of wild hyacinth, but all red golden. Think of gold infused on silver by a craftsman whose fine art Hephaestus taught him, or Athena, one whose work moves to daylight. Just so she lavished beauty over Odysseus, head and shoulders. He sat then in the same chair by the pillar, facing his silent wife, and said, "Strange woman, the immortals of Olympus made you hard, harder than any. Who else in the world would keep aloof as you do from her husband, if he returned to her from years of trouble cast on his own land in the 20th year? Nurse, make up a bed for me to sleep on. Her heart is iron in her breast." Penelope spoke to Odysseus now. She said, "Strange man, if you are, there is no pride on my part, nor scorn for you, not even wonder merely. I know so well how he appeared boarding the ship for Troy, but all the same, make up his bed for him, Euryclea. Place it outside the bedchamber my lord built with his own hands. Pile the big bed with fleeces, rugs, and sheets of purest linen." With this, she tried him to the breaking point, and he turned on her in a flash, raging, "Woman, by heaven, you've stung me now. Who dared to move my bed? No builder had the skill for that, unless a god came down to turn the trick. No mortal at in his best days could budge it with a crowbar. There is our pact, our pledge, our secret sign, built into that bed, my handiwork and no one else's. An old trunk of olive grew like a pillar on the building plot, and I laid out our bedroom round that tree, lined up the stone walls, built the walls and roof, gave it a doorway and smooth-fitting doors. Then I lopped off the silvery leaves and branches, hewed and shaped that stump from the roots up into a bedpost, drilled it, let it serve as a model for the rest. I planed them all, inlaid them with all silver, gold, and ivory, and stretched a bed between, a pliant web of oxhide thongs dyed crimson. There's our sign. I know no more. Could someone else's hand have sawn that trunk and dragged the frame away? Their secret." As she heard it told, her knees grew tremulous and weak. Her heart failed her. With eyes brimming tears, she ran to him, throwing her arms around his neck, and kissed him, murmuring, "Do not rage at me, Odysseus. No one ever matched your caution. Think what difficulty the gods gave. They denied us life together in our prime and flowering years, kept us from crossing into age together. Forgive me, don't be angry. I could not welcome you with love on sight. I armed myself long ago against the frauds of men, impostors who might come, and all those many whose underhanded ways bring evil on. But here and now, what sign could be so clear as this of our own bed? No other man has ever laid eyes on it. Only my own slave Actress that my father sent with me as a gift. She kept our door. You make my stiff heart know that I am yours." Now from his breast into his eyes the ache of longing mounted, and he wept at last, his dear wife clear and faithful in his arms, longed for as the sun-warmed earth is longed for by a swimmer spent in rough water where his ship went down under Poseidon's blows. Gale winds and tons of sea. Few men can keep alive through a big surf to crawl clouded with brine on kindly beaches in joy, knowing the abyss behind, and she too rejoiced, her gaze upon her husband, her white arms around him pressed as though forever. Oh, you guys, they made it back together, and here's the last section. Oh, I lost it. Oh no, it's spinning around. Where did it go, guys? Okay, the next day, Odysseus is reunited with his father, Laertes, as news of the death of his suitors passes through town. Families go to Odysseus's manor to gather bodies for the burial. There, Antinous' father rallies the families to avenge the deaths of their sons and brothers. As battle begins, however, Athena appears and calls the island to peace. So they don't have to leave. Now they can stay and live happily ever after all that time.